All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Real quick, let's review the 4 questions I gave you. So the format that I was going for was it was Unit 7, Lesson 1. That was Monday's 3 questions. The concept that you would have learned in Unit 7, Lesson 1. Tuesdays, concepts. The lesson you would have learned in Unit 7, Lesson 2, and then so on and so forth. So that the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so you had 4 completely new concepts that were taught to you in just a couple questions. So it could have seemed a little difficult at times. The idea is I'll review them in their challenge questions in the morning, and then and then you have these videos that are hopefully helping. And like I said before, if I feel like people aren't really watching the videos, then I'll put the time and energy into something different, something that maybe works. So if this is helpful, let me know. If it's not helpful, let me know, and I'll kind of tweak things to kind of give you guys the best experience that I can. All right. So then today's 4 questions were just a review of the 4 lessons that you learned Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So first it says, write an expression for the words multiply 42 by the sum of 4 and r. Okay, so multiply 42. So it's going to be 42 times, and in algebra you're not supposed to use an x for multiplying, just because it could be a variable, but it's okay if you do. Like in your challenge questions in the morning, I have to use an x because I don't see the symbol on Google Classroom that I'd like to use. So it's okay. Multiply 42 by the sum of 4 and r. So we want them to add 4 and r together first. So putting 4 plus r over here times 42 doesn't make them add first, but what do you always do first? Parentheses. So 42 times the sum of 4 and r. And as I put in your problem, you can't actually solve for this because you have r there. There's something you could do with the variable. If they told us what r was equal to, then we could, but they didn't. So this is it. Final answer. Is this the only way that you could have written it? No. You could have had this first. That's fine as well, because those would get the same answer. So they're both good, either one. Cool, sweet. Let's go to number 2. 12 divided by 1/10 plus 12 divided by 1/100th. Cool, this is a fun one. 12 divided by 0.1 plus 12 divided by 0.01. So adding is going to be the last thing that you do. I like to kind of put either a box, yeah, why not? I like to put a box around it so I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and then I got to add those 2 answers together. Okay. So if you remember from studying this earlier in the year, whenever you divide anything by 1/10, something just happens to the decimal. If you didn't remember that, that's okay. 12 divided by 1/10. You're not allowed to have a decimal over there. So you move it over. You moved it. That's not supposed to be a J. If you move it over 1 time, you have to move this one over 1 time. There's an invisible decimal after 12 because it's a whole number. You move it over once, it turns it into 120. Now you have 120 divided by 1. That answers 120. And remember, when you divide by 1/10, you could really just push the decimal over right, because dividing by 1/10 is like keep, change, flip. Multiplying by 10, they're the same thing. Now this one is 12 divided by 1/100th. Remember what these actually mean are, if you have 12, how many 100,000s could that make? If you have $12, how many, not 100,000s, hundredths could that make? If you have 12, how many pennies are in $12? Is basically what that's saying. That one's saying how many dimes are in $12. The answer is huge. It's big. It's larger. It's getting larger. So 12 divided by 1/100. We're not allowed to divide with a decimal on the outside. Push that over twice. 12 has an invisible decimal after it because decimals separate the whole number and the not whole number. Push it over twice as well. Ends up being 1,200 divided by 1, which is 1,200. Now you're left with just adding those together. So 1,200 plus 120, which is 1,320. So that's your final answer, 1,320. A times 1/3 plus 3 divided by 1/3. Yuck. A times 1/3. And these questions I'm not coming up with. I'm actually taking them out of your book. So I know that we're keeping up with the same material that you would have been responsible for anyway. Now, we couldn't do anything with that unless they told us what A is, or what A was. And they do. They say, A's 3. Okay, so we're going to literally just take out the A and put a 3. Now we have to use order of operations. There's no parentheses, and then you multiply and divide before you add. Multiplication and division are the same importance, so you go from left to right. Well, they're separated by an addition sign anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter here which one you did first. But you're always supposed to do the one on the left first, and then the one on the right. So 3 times a third. That's just saying, if you have 3 thirds, what do you have? You have a whole. Or if you didn't know that, you do 3 times a third. 3 is the same thing as 3 over 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 thirds is 1 whole. So that side is 1 whole. Now 3 divided into thirds is saying how many thirds are in 3. Well, or if you didn't know that, it's keep 3 the same, change the sign, keep change, and then flip 1/3. You flip 1/3, it's 3 over 1, and then you have 3 over 1, which is 3, times 3 over 1, which is 3, which is 9. So that entire answer is 1, it ends up being 1 plus 9, which is 10. All right, complete the table. John makes $8 for every hour he works. Complete the table. So the table is John's earnings at his job. So we have time on the top or on the X. We have earnings on the bottom or the Y. 6. All right. I don't really have room, so I'll just put it hour money. 0 hours, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They show us 8 here because he makes $8 for every hour. So if he has not worked any time at all, how much money did he make? None. 16. 3 times 8 is 24, and then 4 hours would be $32, and then it says, what is the relationship between time and earnings? Well, time is on top, or like the X, earnings is on the bottom, or like the Y. If that freaks you out, then just use hour and time and money. So, hour, which I like to put a X here. So these are 2 different ways to write it. Hour times 8 equals muchacha, or X times 8 equals Y. Either one, they're both good. All right. Thank you. I feel like this has been a good week. Like I said, I have no idea how many of you guys are watching this. Last time I looked, there were only a few of you guys that watched like 2 of the videos, so we'll kind of see which route we take from here. As of right now, I'll plan to do the same thing next week as we did this week. I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope your week went all right. And all right, I'll end it with a joke. I told this to my family, and none of them got it, which I'm kind of used to people not getting my jokes, or at least thinking that the jokes aren't funny. So this was the joke. I said my wife sent me to the store to get her some pop. She loves Sprite. She said, "Can you get me a 6-pack of Sprite?" And I messed up. I picked 7-Up. All right, probably no laughs, and that's all right. And here is a train set that my son and I worked on. And went with a 5-year-old. This is like maybe buys you an hour, and then you got